Hello, YouTube. This is WeFit Lover. I've been trying to upload this video for 2 weeks. So I'm going to try to redo it because for some reason it just does not want to upload. I don't know if it's just too long or what. So in a nutshell, I want to give you an update of everything that's been going on in the last few years. Very much summing it up because nobody has time for a long explanation or what's been going on or why everything is haywire and why I haven't made a video. Of course, starting with COVID, we all know how that tragic story ended for all of us. We've all had a very hard year, so we all know that's, it's really screwed up a lot of things in our lives. And, we just have to roll the punches of life. And when that all went down, and also I had some severe heartbreak that occurred before that caused me to get on antidepressants again. And the stress of handling things like that with COVID and being home and isolated, I gained 35 pounds since July of 2019. That sucked because I worked so hard for 2 years getting 25 of those pounds off. And then, of course, with previous things I did, I yo-yoed until I couldn't yo-yo anymore. So that happened. And I got off my meds in May because I was having severe effects of just extreme tiredness, extreme lethargic, just couldn't wake up. And I thought that the weight gain was from my medication. So I stopped it and I did it the right way. We had 8 passings between 2020 and 2021 of immediate family members and close friends of ours. Some extended family in there. So it was a really hard year. And when I tell you, it wasn't just people dying, it was the consequences of things that happened as a ladder of life circumstances that are completely out of our control, which led to me trying to solve a bigger problem, which is, where is the yo-yo diet part coming from? Why does this keep happening? Something has to give. I did Weight Watchers 3 more times between 2020 January for 4 months, and I lost the same 5 pounds again over and over again. And I was always hungry, constantly hungry. I was in a situation where I was hanging out with someone who was eating 4-course meals and eating dessert, coffee, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks in between that were not healthy. It got me on a really rampage of food that I tried really hard to show him, a way to diet better. And it didn't really go so well. And then COVID hit on top of it. So it just stemmed, from that point. And then something switched. I can't really tell you how it switched, but I started watching High Carb Hannah again, and I did the lean and clean way back, probably like in 2017. And I only lasted 5 days. And I feel really bad because I made it sound like it was absolutely dreadful, because it was. And I figured out why. Poor Hannah. I'm so sorry, dear. I figured out what it was. It had nothing to do with what you were doing. And you are a godsend, honestly. And I'll explain that here in a moment. But the food choices she had, my palate is a little different on textures than hers. That's all. That's the only difference. And the way I went about it was so abrupt, like going from a regular American diet, eating freaking, sugar, salt, oil, everything, to nothing, nothing, and no meat, no nothing. I think I did it so drastically that there's no way any normal human being would be able to. I mean, maybe they do. That's a lot of willpower. But what I was saying is I was definitely not ready for what was happening to my body and the way things were tasting. I certainly was not ready for that. So I watched Forks Over Knives. If you are not familiar with that movie, I would highly recommend it. I can't remember what platform I watched it on, but I would highly recommend watching it because it is a real eye-opener to the point it changed everything. Everything. I didn't think it would, but it did. I tried Weight Watchers. I tried low carb diets. I tried keto, puked to death. Not good for me. Hopefully somebody else can do it. I've seen people who had great success on keto. For me, I do not do well with low carb diets because I black out. I just can't do it. Weight Watchers, I'm always hungry. I go way over my points every single week. It just did not, for me, didn't work. I even tried the entire purple plan, gained like crazy. For me, it just didn't work for me. Some other people have great success on it. Great, I'm happy, yay. You know, what they always say is stick with the diet that you're consistent at. That's the diet for you. In May, I decided to go pretty much vegetarian. And I strive to do vegan most days. I did sneak some cheese in there some days. And on the weekends, I thought, if I do it too sudden, I know from my past experience with the lean and clean that I would go full throttle into binging and stopping. So I decided to tell myself on weekends, I'll allow myself some chicken or fish. Or if I have a regular meal with family or friends, I'll eat what they're eating. I'm not going to let them compensate for what I'm having differently. Now, that was my mindset at that time. And so when I did it, I lost 3 pounds every other week. And this was still eating the chicken and fish. Just those little changes, 80% of my week was pretty much vegan. 2 of the days I'd eat normal, somewhat fish or chicken with lots of more vegetables than what I was eating before. I went on vacation in June and visited a friend of mine, and she was also vegan, and I ate with her for a week and I lost an additional 7 pounds. That was mind-blowing to me. Part of it is that my body was getting used to new foods, and I think the fiber and all the new nutrients I was getting from these foods, I crap my brains out. So people were bloated. No, I was in the bathroom all the time. And it wasn't a bad thing. It was almost like I was detoxifying my body. It was bizarre because I had so much issues with constipation and just different things that I don't know. All I know is that on Weight Watchers, I was always constipated. It was terrible. I just had to take fiber supplements. I know people out there that are going through the same things, and I want to try to share what works for me. If you've had your dead end wits end about to get gastric bypass because you don't know what else to do, I want to try to save myself and others from having to do that altogether, because there might be hope with another thing that we can do. So that's what I'm hoping for here. I went into this thinking, this is my last resort. This is what I have left, because I've eliminated every other single food. I can't eat dairy very well. I can't have gluten. I get sick. I was having such bad acid reflux. Oh my gosh. I couldn't handle it anymore. I was always sick. I felt heartburn. I could barely breathe. I was having rashes. You name it. I could barely breathe. I was on a breathing treatment. I had an asthma pump. I was getting the brinks of a situation where my blood pressure was getting higher because I was stressed out from it, and from the foods I was eating. My cholesterol wasn't as great. My my BMI was definitely climbing before I did the switch. I didn't know what else to do, honestly. And so between watching Forks Over Knives and going back to looking at a video that High Carb Hannah had said about calorie density, and that is where things really got interesting, because I've seen her lean and clean stuff in the past, but she never really dove deep into calorie density, or maybe I didn't just see it at the time, but I kept going back to that for some reason. Like, I was mad at myself because I thought, I don't know why I kept doing it. Something just kept telling me, go back there, go back there, go back there. And I thought, I can never eat sugar, salt, or oil like that, like no salt, sugar, or oil ever again. That's crazy, you know? And I kept thinking, so I didn't think about that at the time. I was just like, calorie density, wow, you know? And then that led me to Plentiful Kiki. And then I found out they had a recipe book together. And I thought, well, I'm already doing plant-based. I'm going to get the recipe book because I thought, ooh, at least it's not the sugar, salt, or oil thing, you know. So I lived out of that book like a food Bible for uh, May, June, July, August. Well, all the way from May until today, even. And, you know, it really changed the way my body felt. I used to feel so sick after dinner, and I didn't know how to feel not being nauseous after a meal. And I'm like, I actually feel normal. Like it was almost scary. It was like an alcoholic waking up without a hangover. It was that shocking, just different in a good way, rejuvenated. I thought I was going to be hungry. I thought all these different things. No, I was so full and I felt so satisfied and I didn't crave food, which is weird because I'm a food addict. I definitely have a food addiction, which I learned because I was watching 1,000 Pound Sisters and I learned all about food addiction. And I thought, oh my gosh, not on the scale of how bad some of the things on the show were, but yeah, I definitely have food addiction issues. And so this diet really helped me to curb that appetite. Some of it stems from childhood. I know that. Some of it stems from thinking that I think I have a literal food addict thing. I don't know where it comes from, but I think it's childhood, which I can dive deep into another video, but try to make this video a little bit shorter than the last one. So that led me to whole food, plant-based, vegan diet, right? So I thought, okay, that's good enough, right? Wrong. So I went from processed vegan food, wasn't seeing much weight change. In August, I went on a cruise and oh my gosh, day one, I got on that boat. I was so sick because dumb me said, oh, I'm going to have seafood and all this stuff. And I wasn't even thinking about the milk that they were going to put into some of the dishes. I don't know where my brain was. I was just in a relaxed state, like, oh yeah, I'm fine. I don't see milk. It was just cooked in, but so it was on this crab like stuffing stuff. I didn't even think about it. And boy, my stomach told me then that it was over and it was like poison to my soul. I mean, I literally was so sick. I thought, I'm going to die tonight. Like, and it sucks when that happens. And so that whole trip, I was sick 5 of the days of just food additive things that I was eating that I kept kicking myself because I kept saying to the, maitre d', hey, these are my food allergies. And then somehow I get a trace of something and I get sick again. And I'm like, dag on it. So finally I just said, screw it, I'm going to eat at the buffet. And all I had was potatoes, fruit, and rice. I mean, that was my whole diet, and vegetables, because I couldn't handle any more of the foods that they were trying to cook and make it better. And I know they did their best, but I was just so sick from it. And I swear there's like a chemical they put on the food on the boats that help it go down the toilet better or something, because so anyway, I get back from the trip. I'm in the car, 19-hour drive home, and my legs are so swollen from the sodium or whatever the hell they had in the food that I came home and I had radiating leg pains that were shooting down on my kneecaps that I couldn't explain. I'm talking like it was the worst pain. It felt like you had baby shingles coming out of your kneecaps. And there was no explanation. I mean, I was scared to drive. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I thought it was a blood clot. Went right to the doctor. I'm like, what is happening? It would happen with a vengeance out of nowhere. And, sitting in a car for 19 hours, I think, and all the elevation from the mountains and coming back down and this and that. I don't know what it did to me or if it was just the way I was sitting, but something happened. And I went and I had x-rays done of 2 different areas. And I know I have sciatica, degenerative disc disease. I have fibromyalgia. So all of this, I was told, you can't work out. You just cannot. And I hadn't been working out because of COVID. And then on the top of the depression with the pills and then this happening, I'm like, oh, great. So I started becoming, again, very depressed, very angry because of all these things going on when I was trying to fix my body and I was all excited and I felt like I was just back at square one. And something told me through the grapevine of looking back at Plentiful Kiki again, and it, talked about the Starch Solution from Dr. McDougall. And I picked up the book and I bought my sister one and I bought my aunt one. And I just sent it to him. I just said, I have a feeling this is what we need. We need to do this. And of course they're like, okay, Rachel, because I've done a lot of different diets, and they're probably like, oh God, here we go again. And because I'm always trying to help everybody I know to try to get the answers to certain issues that we have. And so, I pondered over this book over and over, and I started making, those recipes. Thank God for Plantiful Kiki too, because her recipes are amazing. And then I thought, there's something else missing, that I want to stay on a structured path that I can be held accountable. So I started putting out in the universe, like, okay, I started doing a lot of soul searching with my depression, and soul searching with this med I was on again, because I went back on the antidepressants due to the leg pains, because the medicine I was on also helps with neurological pain, which was what was going on. So again, they were actually thinking it might have been multiple sclerosis at this time. So this is in October of just last month. And so before we head off to another MRI and spending thousands of dollars in that, after spending thousands in dentistry, because life's not fun without everything happening once, we decided to try something a little different. And so I found a soft tissue therapist, physical therapist, and chiropractor in the same area of the same building. And I started working with this man, and he has been a godsend so far. I have not had mind-blowing leg pains, thank God. He has found the culprit to my pain in my leg that shoots down. So we found that out today. And I'm able to touch my toes for the first time in 10 years, which is huge. And he's glad he found the culprit, because now he says he could possibly fix it. So that's even more cool with that. Updates with my doctor. He tells me he doesn't have to see me for 3 months, my general practitioner, because my numbers are completely back to normal. I'm off all medication. I only take my antidepressant because it's not affecting my weight loss, because I'm down 8 pounds since October 25th. And I'm down 13 on his scale, because his scale's 4 pounds less than mine, but I'm counting mine instead. So I'm down 8. 3 of those pounds, I was down 5.1, but I gained a couple because of the holidays, basically not holidays, but my nephew had a birthday party. I had a piece of cake, and it skyrocketed up a little bit. It happens. Yeah, my body gains so fast when I do stupid things. So that was my one vice that one day, and it just killed me. So, but I'm back. I'm getting the weight back down already, so that's good. But I hope to get back to under where I was, and then onward from there this week. However, I wanted to make this video before I made week 1 of Slim on Starch, but so I decided to take a step farther. I put out in the universe, I wanted to meet somebody that could help me nutritionally, but I didn't want to go back to the American diet and have them tell me, well, it's not healthy to do this. You need to eat eggs and all this other protein stuff. And after reading Dr. McDougall's book, I didn't want to do that. And what I was feeling was absolutely amazingly better when I was doing his protocols. And I really looked into the maximum weight loss portion of his book. And I based that, and really kept looking on the internet and just researching, and I found a Slim on Starch program from Emmy Healthy. And at first, she can be kind of intimidated, because you're like, God, this little girl is so thin, and so she looks great. And, I was baffled, like, how am I don't even know, and then everything she says is just so informative. I can't believe how informative she is with this stuff. I mean, it's almost, it's like she's an encyclopedia for Dr. McDougall. She must have researched until she was just dying of sleep, because this girl's smart. I can say I can't even thank High Carb Hannah and Plantiful Kiki and Healthy Emmy for putting themselves out on the internet to help people, because if it wasn't for you three right now, there's other people out there that follow Dr. McDougall, and I've really enjoyed your videos too. I just can't remember the names right now. One of them is like Vega Mommy or something, or Mommy and Me, Healthy Mommy. But holy crap, you guys are great. I will continue to follow you guys, and I'll continue to tell my clients about you guys, because I always like to tell them about good recipes and whatnot and help them. I even help my PT telling them about you to, try to get her back on track. And she's excited to go back vegan again because of what I told them about the, experiences, and she's seen what happened to me. So that's really cool. So I started November 4th or 5th with Slim on Starch with Healthy Emmy. And I was so nervous, but I thought I have nothing to lose at this point but wait, because I already knew the program worked. I just needed to dial it down a little bit more. And what she was saying made so much sense. And I'll tell you, it's definitely working for me. And I like that they hold you accountable. And so so that's what I'm doing. I'm going to insert a picture of my first day of doing Slim on Starch and where I'm at today. So this is going into end of week 2 on Slim on Starch, and I'm going to put that here and end the video. And I'm also going to, this Wednesday, I'm going to be posting a video of a Thanksgiving vegan meal of what I'm planning on making, because I don't want to eat a traditional meal for Thanksgiving because I'm on a roll of losing weight this year. And I'm not going to let anything stop me. And usually I would be like, oh, I'm going to do this or that. And even people said, oh, no, just have a cheat, day, or a day of just eating whatever you want. I'm like, no, no, I'm not going that route. So, but yeah, because I know how fast I can get off the wagon when I do that. And I'll crave food and then no. So I got to stay strict with myself until I get to my goal weight, and then I can eat, healthy fats again and whatnot. But anyway, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update of what's been happening and how I got here. It's because of how I feel. It's not even, weight loss is a side effect of this. And I never believed that until I started doing it and really feeling the effects of my health. I have no more scares of prediabetes. I have no more scares of high blood pressure. I have, oh gosh, I can't even explain. But anyway, here's my before and after so far. I hope you guys have a great week. Please subscribe and like this video and hit the shoot the notification bell. And I look forward to seeing you next week and give you some more updates of how things are going. Oh, thanks for hanging in there with me. And please put your stuff below if you're on this diet or if you're doing anything. Tell me how you've been. Thanks. Bye.